Welcome to patch 13.16 patch notes. The only patch notes that are read by me, Hashinshin, because this is the only channel with me, Hashinshin. For today's patch notes, we have a very special day, a very special feature that you will want to stick around and watch the entire video for. For today, we are going through the nerfs, the buffs, the adjustments, the systems, and the skins. I've never done this before, and I'm going to try it out. It's a special new thing that I think will make this video more fun and watchable for everybody. So, as we get into this, as I do with all my videos, I want to remind everybody, if there is not enough visual stimuli on the screen, or if you get bored easily, make sure to put me on your second monitor, put me on in the background, put me on your TV with your phone out. I will, of course, be talking a lot throughout this video, giving you my thoughts on all the things. In the past, I would try to condense it and keep things a bit shorter, but I have since realized that I like talking more about things that I like talking about, and you guys like listening more to things that I like talking about. So today, we can make miracles happen between us. So for this patch, shockingly, I have read through this patch. You might notice a consistent theme of the patch. Riot has buffed a lot of damage on a lot of different champions. Starting with Akali. Now, Akali, back in the day, used to have the energy cost on her Q be 110 to 70. That was very overpowered and made her very dominant. So Riot has reverted her Q to being 110 to 70. This time, it won't be overpowered or dominant because Riot really hopes it isn't. We have, and have been for a while, been doing hopes and dreams based balancing. That's balancing where we don't balance based on what we know will happen, but things that we hope will happen. Riot hopes this won't make Akali overpowered like it did last time. We dream of a world where this won't be a stupid decision. They're also buffing her Q damage by 5 because the best way to well, I don't really know. We're just buffing it by 5. I don't know. I mean, this buff is already extremely big, and this one is not really big. I mean, it's 5 damage, but what are you going to do? I guess just, whatever. You know, I'll move past it because we'll also spend 50 minutes on it. Brand. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Brand, because this is something that I don't really understand. Brand's base stats are based back for like Season 1, Season 2 level of damage. Like his health, his armor, that sort of stuff hasn't really moved in 13 years. And I think it would be a good decision based on all the mobility and that sort of thing to give Brand a little bit of health and armor so that he didn't just instantly get gap closed on, maybe some magic resist as well. Instead of that, Riot has decided that after a billion years that Brand is not doing enough damage and he needs to do more damage. So Akali needed to do more damage, and now Brand needs to do more damage. Wait till you see what Caitlyn's getting buffed on. So the AP ratio on his E is going up, the AP ratio on his Q is going up, and he's getting more mana restoration on his passive. Obviously, Brand dying in one hit means that he needs to kill other people in one hit, because the most fun game is everyone dying in one hit. If you don't die in one hit, that is a bad decision or something. I don't know. I don't really agree with their current balance of everyone gets more damage. It's like, look under your chair, damage. Everybody just gets more damage at all points in time. Anything other than damage? No, just more damage. Caitlyn is, the amount of attacks she needs to headshot is going down. So she will do more damage. Because it's what I thought in Caitlyn is that she needed to do more damage. She was doing so much damage that she was doing enough damage to damage people damagingly. Now, they did nerf Caitlyn's survivability a bit ago, so rather than giving her maybe back some survivability or something like that, they've opted that she should do more damage. Yeah, she needs to do more damage. Everyone needs to do more damage. Now, in particular, by the way, because she stacks up 2 stacks when she's hitting in a brush, this means Caitlyn goes from headshotting every 4 attacks to headshotting every 3 attacks when she's standing in a brush. So particularly in the brush, this is a rather significant buff to Caitlyn's damage, because damage. Echo's getting buffed. Now let me explain this one. Riot promised that they were not going to buff junglers. They promised that. So for one singular patch, they didn't buff junglers. Riot has since said screw it and is now back to buffing junglers. Because the only thing that goes good with jungler buffs is more jungler buffs. They said, hey, sorry guys, we seem to have really power creeped the jungle. Our bad, spent 1 patch nerfing like 2 champions and said, that's it, back to jungler buffs. So we have more jungler buffs. Echo's Q does more damage, because when I think Echo, I think not enough damage. The slow on his Q is also going up, and the shield on his W is also going up. When I think Echo, my first thoughts are, damn, this champion is not doing enough damage, I guess. That's basically everything in my life, is it just needs more damage. Karma is getting buffed. You'll never believe how she's getting buffed. You'll never believe it. If I told you, you would say, shut up, Hashinshin, you lying sack of shit. I will drag your lifeless corpse through the streets. Unfortunately, you can't do that, because Karma is getting her damage buffed. That's right, the AP ratio on Karma's Q is getting its damage buffed. Then the AP ratio on her ultimate empowered Q is getting its damage buffed. Then her mantra cooldown is going down at later ranks. So far, we have damage, and damage buffs. Thanks, Riot. This game was really lacking in damage. Lucian's getting buffed. Passive on-hit damage increased. The amount of damage that damages damage. Honestly, at this point, it's a meme, because this is all Riot does with their game, and everyone points it out all the time that all Riot ever does is buff damage. And instead of like listening or writing a note or taking any sort of like sensible takeaway at all, Riot just goes, you're right, all we do is buff damage. And then they just proceed to buff more damage. And people are like, boy, don't you think there might be too much damage? And Riot's like, more damage. So, and I know this joke might get old, but I will do it again. We have damage, and damage buffs going on in the patch. Now, what's up next? Lulu. I think this is the only champion they haven't. No, my bad. Nope, see, we have a damage buff on her Q. Her Q AP ratio is going up, so she can do more damage. Now, she is getting more health per level, and her help picks is getting its shield AP ratio buffed. But of course, boy, what would life be like without a random damage buff on a champion? They need to do more damage when they damage. They're damaging damage. So, damage buff, and damage buff. Well, there we go. Then, oh, no, wait, actually, you're right. This is only the magic damage. So it's 2 damage buffs. My bad, not a shield buff. Damage and damage buff. Fantabulous. Absolutely amazing. She needed more damage for her damaging damage. Malzahar. The damage tick rate on his E went from 0.5 to 0.25. That's just a consistency thing. Then his minion damage threshold is going down. Huh. Oh, okay. So they're saying this should result in more consistent gold from Malzahar in total. Okay. I'll believe Riot, but I also kind of don't. Q damage increased. Wow. Insane. Incredible. More damage. Well, would you look at damage? The damaging damage on Melio's damage is damaging more damaging. From a 90% AP ratio to a 120% damage ratio. I should say AP ratio. So now 80 to 340 with 120% damage. Warm Hugs is also going up, getting a higher AP ratio and shield strength. You're right, chat. That means damage buff, 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 and damage buff in this patch note. Wow, that's crazy. That's really funny. Neferi is getting nerfed. Base armor down, base attack damage down, base attack speed down. Neferi joins the list of literally every champion that gets released in being very overpowered on release. Nidalee is getting a damage buff. Wow, Nidalee's swipe now has a bonus AD ratio because Nidalee needed to do more damage, I guess. In this patch, we're looking to give AD Nidalee a little help in her cougar form so her swipes pack more punch. Who asked? I don't normally make that joke, but Riot, who the fuck asked? So just to be clear, you looked at Nidalee, the 5th highest pick, 18% ban, 52% win rate champion, and said, by God, could we give her more builds that are viable? She needs damage. You looked at Kindred, Talia, Rek'Sai, all these champions. You said, wow, jungle is not power creeped enough. Could we please help them out? Echo, with 49.36% win rate, 14th highest win rate, he clearly needed massive buffs. Here's the thing. If you nerf these overpowered champions, you remember? Okay, guys, I've been here before. I swear, I'm having deja vu. I'm having such deja vu in my life, dude. Didn't I say this? You guys who watch all my videos, I did say this, didn't I? Didn't I say that when they finally nerfed the broken junglers, that Kha'Zix was going to be broken? And then what happens? They nerfed the overperforming junglers, and now Kha'Zix is broken. And as they continue to slowly nerf the overperforming junglers, Kha'Zix will get more and more broken. And so will Echo. Echo's win rate will go up as they nerf the broken junglers. So in addition to directly buffing Echo, they're now buffing him because they'll be slowly... they're not nerfing Kindred for sure. For 53.63% win rate with a 32% ban rate, that's crazy. That's basically an unplayable champion. Have you seen Kindred, guys? She's like really popular. Popular champions must be overpowered or something. Yay. Okay. Damage buff. Okay, so let's go through it again. Damage buff, 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 damage buff. Oh, wait, and a damage buff. Okay, what do we have up next here? Okay. Rek'Sai's getting nerfed because she was catastrophically overpowered. Instead of having base damage and 50% bonus AD, it's now just total AD. This change of converting Q into total attack damage is a damage nerf until champion level 13, where it turns into a buff. Okay. So... I guess they're just nerfing Rek'Sai. Nothing really to talk about here. It's just a nerf. It's not a Kindred nerf, but we can't nerf Kindred because for some reason Kindred must be permaban for my entire life. Kindred is literally not allowed to be a balanced champion. I don't know what Riot does anymore. Like, do you guys get paid? Like, seriously, I could do a better job than Riot by literally just, like, I'm not even trying to, like, be mean or anything. Literally just pull up Masters Plus. And I'm not saying you need to hit every champion with a 51% win rate. I'm not saying that. But if you see a champion at like 53%, maybe like start taking a note and be like, 53%. Is that a consistent 53%? Well, yes, it seems to be a consistent 53% over the last 3 patches. Well, I guess we should probably nerf her. But like, Riot looks at that and they go, Wow. I literally, wow, is she broken? I can't see anything. That's so weird. Could we buff her damage maybe? Oh man. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. I truly, Riot, you're special ed. So the most important nerf for everyone ever, the most important nerf is of course Shaco support. Shaco support is the most broken champion in the entire game. Obviously, this was the most important thing to nerf was Shaco support. When I thought of everything broken in the game, I thought, God damn it, Shaco support. How could you do this to me, Shaco support? You're so relevant and such a big deal, Shaco support. You're dominating the game. Hold on here. Can I look at this? Even in the low ranks where I'm sure that Shaco support is a big deal, what is your pick rate? He's the 29th most picked support. 29th. 29th. Riot. I'm thinking that out loud because the amount of people that this affects is so goddamn insignificant. Whereas the fact that Kindred is giga broken and dominating all high rank and now pro play as well seems to impact the game at a wider end. I don't understand why Riot is like, we have to balance for the high ranks and pro play. And they do that for like some champions that are like, I don't know, just doing stuff. But then on other champions, like Kindred, they just ignore it and they go, nope, we don't see anything, no problem. So like they'll utterly obliterate Melio and cease him from even existing as a champion because he gets played in pro play. But then they look at like Kindred and they're like, nope, doesn't look like anything to me. But then they look at low ranking champions which barely affect the game and they go, damn you Shaco support. Like at a certain point, if Shaco support is so annoying, why not just kill Shaco support? Why not just like destroy it? Like, why not just actually cease it from being a thing, right? Because, like, anytime people play it, you guys kill it. So why not just remove AP Shaco? Why not just kill it at this point? And the thing is, if you killed AP Shaco and you just made him entirely AD and you gave his Jack in the Box an AD ratio, there's not like a Leandries and a Demonic Embrace for AD Shaco. That's just my opinion. AD Shaco would never be as annoying as AP Shaco because AD Shaco, even if his Jack in the Box had an AD ratio, even if that was true, he still wouldn't be able to get percent health damage dots on the Jack in the Box to make it do all that damage. So why not just do that? Why not just take the time to readdress the champion, kill off AP Shaco entirely, push him into AD, finally end him for being in support. And the thing is, that would actually allow Jungle Shaco to be the more played version of him. You know, like, whatever. Shyvana's getting nerfed because low rank, I guess. This is the most striking and biggest issue of League of Legends today, is that at the low ranks, AD Shyvana, I guess, is good because they buffed AD Shyvana to be good. If this sounds really dumb, I assure you, this is as dumb as it sounds. AD Shyvana got directly buffed by Riot, and now they are nerfing AD Shyvana because they buffed it. Okay. So the damage per second, I guess I should say the Shaco nerfs. Base mana regen down, and the Jack in the Box cost up. Okay. The base damage on burnout for Shyvana is going down. The AD bonus ratio is going way down from 30% to 20%. Overall, a pretty significant nerf to AD Shyvana. Sylas is getting a base mana buff because, yeah. Okay. I'm not even going to dwell on that one. So then we got target dummy. The base movement is going up. The minimum health is going down, and the target dummy no longer has a damage cap of 900, which I didn't know it had, but it's probably good to know because that actually will impact a lot of different things. Overall, kind of a weird thing. It's like funny to put it in the patch notes, I guess, but this bug fix is actually probably good for testing out things having a maximum of 900 damage it could take is kind of weird. And I'm not sure why it ever existed there. But that definitely will impact some things that we've seen. And to be blunt, there's probably some tests that are actually wrong now, thinking back on it. Tristana. Base armor up, armor growth up, base magic down, base health down. So basically, every time AD carries are overpowered, Tristana dominates mid lane. Riot pretends it doesn't happen, even though it has happened. Guys, for those who have been playing League of Legends, how many times have you seen Tristana dominate mid lane? And they like continuously pretend that like they're gonna push Tristana to bot lane. Like, don't worry, guys, she'll be a bot laner now. Trust us, trust us. And each time she just like goes mid lane and shits on mid lane. So now what are they doing? They are directly trying to force her, directly trying to force this champion to be a weak mid lane champion by giving her low base magic resist, low base health, then giving her more armor. But the problem, in my opinion, is that, like, why is it bad that Tristana goes mid lane? Fundamentally, why is that a bad idea? I don't get it. Like, why is it fundamentally bad when an AD carry goes mid lane? Is it supposed to be the mage lane? But when you make Tristana go mid lane, she's just a mid laner. Why is that bad? Like, if Karthus goes bot, Annie goes mid, Annie goes jungle, we go, yay! But when Tristana goes mid lane, we like note, and I'm gonna explain what I think the problem is. What I think the actual problem is, this is my opinion, I think the problem is when Tristana goes mid lane, Riot notices that other people are noticing just how goddamn broken AD carries are right now. They notice just how goddamn overstat and disgusting they are as a class, and they get afraid. And they think, oh no, our plan to make AD carries be really fucking broken is getting noticed. This is why they push Lucian to bot lane. This is why they push Tristana to bot lane. This is just my conspiracy theory, because it like points out how bad the balance is in League when you have champions going mid lane, like, again, Lucian and Tristana, champions that are supposed to be weak late game, but then because they're AD carries, they're not actually weak late game. The worst scaling AD carries still have AD carry items, and therefore are strong late game. So, yeah. Wukong is getting buffed because Riot literally cannot stop buffing junglers. They say this buff is mostly for top lane and not for the jungle. Sure, I guess. The mana cost on Q is down, his mana regen growth is up, and the mana cost on his W is going down. So Wukong will have more mana to work with. This might help his top lane, but it doesn't help him be more of an interesting champion. Riot August cannot make interesting champions. I'm sorry to say, but not really actually sorry to say. Anytime I have to fight Wukong, my thoughts are, wow, EQ, RQ, RQ, haha, wow, what a funny champion, what a wacky dude. Axiomark is being buffed. The ultimate cooldown refunded is going from 5% to 10%. That's because I'll just cut to the chase. They're nerfing Duskblade. So they're nerfing Duskblade, so they're buffing other lethality items. Axiomark is getting its ultimate cooldown refund up from 5% to 10%. Duskblade is having the cooldown on its unique passive from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. Because shockingly, it was really annoying and difficult to balance. Who could have seen it coming? The missing health damage, instead of capping at 20%, now caps at 18%, because giving a multiplying damage modifier made many champions do way too much damage. Which is shocking. Who could have seen that coming? Prowler's Claw is getting its cooldown reduced because it was pretty goddamn worthless. And the... What is this? 85 melee, 65 range, plus 45 melee, 30% range, percent bonus AD. Why would they word it like this? This is like, I need a PhD to read through this shit. Okay, so the AD ratio went up So Prowler's Claw has a significantly higher AD ratio now. Instead of 45% AD, it's 55% bonus AD on proc on a 5-second cooldown. Huh. That's interesting. Serpent's Fang is getting its lethality buffed. I'm going to be blunt. I think Serpent's Fang should be removed from the game. I think it's way too much of a niche counter item. When Serpent's Fang is good, certain champions just don't get to exist anymore. When Serpent's Fang is bad, then it just feels bad and a waste of time. I think Serpent's Fang should do something else. Literally anything else. But I think Serpent's Fang is just actually bad for the game's balance. Like, if Serpent's Fang is good, then you can Serpent's Fang into Mord, and he's just doomed. He can't play the game anymore. If it's bad, then it feels bad because it's not good into Mord. So the problem is, in my opinion, Serpent's Fang is just really bad for game balance. Counter items are just really bad for game balance, in my opinion. So there obviously was not enough damage in the game, so we needed to add damage to damage to damage to damage to damage. The lethality of Umbral Glaive is going up because this damagey damage was too damaging. Or sorry, not damaging enough. There's a lot of arena changes that I'm definitely not going to go into. So let's look through this patch in its totality. What do we have here? What do we have here? A damage buff, a damage buff, a damage buff, a damage buff. Let's see here. Got to go up here. A damage buff, 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 and a damage buff. Of not damage buffs, we have like a couple, I guess. Wow. I wonder why there's too much damage in League of Legends. Could it be because of all the damage buffs? No. No. It has to be the players. They're the ones that are wrong. Dun dun dun. Or something. Okay. So then we have skins. What's going on with skins? The following skins will be released in this patch. Let's look at the skins. We all like looking at skins, don't we? So, I'll be honest, I clicked on this before I knew what champion it was. I'm going to be dead honest. It's either Aurelia or Kayle, but it's probably Kayle because it has a sword. But if it's Aurelia with the sword... Okay, it is Kayle. Okay. Chevrelia. Did they just make every female champion look like Aurelia now? Is that just their thing? And because they changed how Aurelia looks to look like Aurelia, they all just look like the same character. They all just look like Aurelia, but again, Aurelia was retconned to look like the current Aurelia, so they all just look like the Aurelia that they made up. Sorelia. I mean, I know this is like a funny thing to harp on, but like, how do we know it's even Sona? Big boobs, I guess? Is that it? I guess the instrument. Huh. I am okay. Soraka, Sorelia. I guess because she has the horn. Fuck it. Why even have the horn anymore? Right? Like in all honesty, why even have the horn anymore? Dead honest, cover up the horn. I'd believe it was an Aurelia skin. Immortal Journey Z. Okay. Immortal Journey Zeri. Okay, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Does League of Legends make like 90% of its money from China at this point? I'm not even trying to be mean, but like, I feel like I've been here before. Every skin line is just a historical Chinese skin line. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like I have to question, are they just making all their money from China? Am I the minority now playing League of Legends not from China? Because like, I'd believe it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know, go Riot, go. Make your money where you make your money. But like, when is the last skin line? Like how many skin lines? Like, I'm not even... How many skin lines have I reviewed that's just like, oh, it's another Chinese skin line? Okay. I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to like be like, burb, China bad. I'm just saying like, damn, dude, I feel like we're adding like a traditional Chinese skin to every champion, sometimes multiple times per champion. Okay. Prestige Immortal Journey Sona. What's prestige about it? It's just like a different take on it. What even is a prestige skin anymore? Prestige skins used to be the gold chromas of the skin, but then people said they didn't like that, so now they're different. But how are they different? Okay. Immortal Journey Kale. Let's review the actual skins themselves here. I swear I've seen this skin before. Wait, I'm not even trying to be a meme. Like, does Kale already have a skin like this? Am I crazy? Someone looks like this. Okay. And Kale with a rather noticeable thigh gap. Immortal Journey Shyvana. How is that even Shyvana? Seriously. Once again, I'm not even trying to be mean. Just like, how is this Shyvana? Like, They just, yeah, tell me this is Vi. I'll be like, okay, she's got the fist things. It makes sense to me. Okay. Sona. Maybe it's, okay, I think it's just because I've reviewed so many of these, like, traditional Chinese skin lines. I think I've just reviewed so many of them that, like, this is not even phasing me anymore. Like, it doesn't even look unique or different. It just... Wow, it's this again. I swear I've seen this before. It's not even amusing to me. It's just like it could be anything. If you make a knight skin for any champion, right? You put another champions with a knight skin. You put Darius in full plate, Garen in full plate, Jarvan, Xin, Jax. You do like knight of like 10 different champions 10 different times. Eventually I'll be like, okay, this is kind of getting boring to me, right? And that's kind of how I feel at these skin lines. It's just like, I've seen this before. It's not doing anything for me. I don't feel inspired. Like, I swear I've seen this before. I swear I have. I can't even review them because they all just look like Aurelia to me. Well, this one looks like Vi. This just looks like Aurelia. I swear to God, if you removed the sword and she just attacked people with her wings, there's your new Aurelia skin. Shit, I just gave them an idea for an Aurelia skin. Oh no, wait, Aurelia has like 7 skins that are just like that. Okay. I like that they at least kept her hooves, I guess. So I mean, at least if you're like really paying attention, you can notice that it's Soraka. If you're like really paying attention. But they also kind of hit it a bit. Immortal Journey Z. I mean, I know normally when I review skins, I have more to say, but like, these just feel so uninspired and boring. What do I even say? Yeah, it's well done, I guess. Like, cool, I guess. Yep, that's a skin. Cool. Yep. Well, this one kind of sucks. I'll be blunt with you. This one actually sucks. I don't think I would ever use this one. And why would I? If I'm playing Shyvana, why am I trying to play pretty girl Shyvana? That's not Shyvana. Shyvana's not a... What are they doing? This one, it's not... Like, it's... Okay, you know what? I'm going to say this. If you took a male champion and turned them into a pretty boy, people would dislike it. Like, let's say you had pretty boy Darius, right? And it was Darius just being a pretty boy. It would be weird. It would be off-putting, right? So, like, why do they just try to do pretty girl Kale? They do know that Kale is a maniacal, genocidal tyrant, right? Like we are aware of that, right? Like, that is her backstory. She's extremely evil as a character. Like, people complained about Swain in his Crystal Rose Swain skin, right? Because he was kind of doing like pretty boy Swain. So like, why is there like? But this is like far more of a pretty girl than like pretty boy Swain was. Kale's pretty evil, and here we have her just kind of dressed up all prettily. So, okay, just my critique. Like, what? It's just Zeri in a Chinese outfit. Like, it's not inspired or anything. Like, it doesn't... Like, what? She's got, like, little wheels on her feet, I guess? Is this a reference to something? Do I not understand it? I don't get it. I truly... You know what it feels like? It feels like Riot is trying to appeal... It feels like American artists are trying to appeal to Chinese audiences, and they're doing it in such a weird way. When Dark Souls tried to appeal to like Western audiences by doing the whole like medieval knight setup, Dark Souls has some of the coolest looking, at least Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls. I've seen a lot of their art, right? Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring kind of went a bit off the rails, but like in Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, like they're European knight, because like they're obviously like, this might shock you guys, but they're a Japanese company, right? And they were like taking the Western kind of knight aesthetic and doing it. They were like very much inspired by it. Their take on that setup was like super fucking cool. Like, so much of the shit they did was cool. And this feels like some Americans trying to do like Chinese inspired stuff. And like what is this? Fundamentally, I'm not even trying to be mean once again, but like, what is this? She has like a shirt, a coat. It's like they tried to put like what is this at the coat? And then like wheels. Like, what is this? What is this? What am I looking at? What is this inspired by? What is this? It's so boring. Like, I'm not even joking. Go look at like Dark Souls 1 and like, this is their take on like European Knight, right? Like, again, this is a Japanese company. They were just like, man, let's make like a Western inspired game. And I'm using this as an example of a country being inspired by another area's kind of like historical aesthetic, right? And Dark Souls did the European Knight aesthetic really well, did they not? I'm not saying it was all 100% historical, and they did include other stuff from other regions, yes, but like they were inspired by it, and it looked nice. But like, what am I looking at? It looks stupid. It looks boring. It looks like someone told an artist, you need to make 6 characters in this skin line, and they just ran out of ideas. Like, at least Soraka looks cool. She's got something going on, but they got to Zeri and they just ran out of ideas. They just ran. They were just like, I got nothing. I'm out of gas. There's nothing more. I can't do anything. Anyway, that's my review on these patch notes, though. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you everybody for posting a comment, leaving a message, doing anything. Thank you to my YouTube subscribers. Thank you to my Kick subscribers. Thank you to, YouTube members. Thank you to my Patreon. If you guys join my Patreon, you can continue to support me and videos like these. Joining my Patreon is immensely beneficial to me and helps me continue. Just subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on your thoughts. Thank you, everybody. I know you guys are about to leave some like really racist shit about China. I can just feel it in my bones. Please don't. Don't make it weird. Okay? So thank you all for being here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.